Hey guys, Desolate Magic here, and this is the short version of my extremely long video where I really in-depth break down for people who might be kind of like new to crypto why the Chia network is not the savior of all everything and the eco-friendly, perfect flawless rollout of the future of crypto. It's going to take over for Bitcoins and, quite the opposite. It's a disaster. It's going to burn to the ground. The people behind it are morons. Hey, speaking of that, everything in this video too is also just my opinions and my take on everything, and don't take any of it as fact. Legalese over. So this is the express version for people who already are very familiar with the terminology in the crypto world. So if this confuses you, go watch the long version. But I'm just gonna blow through this. Okay, here's like the timeline of the absolute screw-ups, oversights, and disasters in the Chia network. So Chia is a new crypto. It uses hard drive space and plotting time to create little 100 gig files. And then you prove that the files contain the data that they're supposed to, and then you get paid based on, I've allocated this space and I can prove it. So basically burst coin, except it actually works. Okay, problem number one, they pre-mined 21 years worth of Chia. That's right, 21 years. That's 50% of all Chia that will ever exist were pre-mined by the Chia group, the Chia project, that whatever the hell they call themselves, all the volunteers that made Chia. That is 35 million coins, if I'm not mistaken, which has a current market value of $38 billion. But wait, guys, they have a perfectly legitimate excuse for why they pre-mined that much, and they're totally not just going to sell it off and get rich. They needed some Chia to seed everything and send to the exchanges, so that if I throw 50K at the exchange and then buy the Chia and then say, well, I want to withdraw it, they have to actually have the Chia to let me withdraw it. So they're if I want to start a new exchange, I better buy up $10 million US worth of Chia in case somebody wants to buy and withdraw that much. That's true. You can't just day one it free for all and have be a year out from exchanges gathering enough to operate. But 21 years worth, 35 million Chia is how much you thought you needed to get a couple exchanges off the ground. Really? With my calculations, somewhere between 0.1% and 1% of all Chia that will ever exist would have been more than enough to launch every single exchange in the world about 10 times over. So, no. So if you think they're not going to sell off, just out of their $38 billion holdings, just a little, million here and there, you're out of your fucking mind. And they keep saying it's just a reserve, it's just to lend it, it's just to get the network going. But I don't think they've ever made an exact legally binding statement saying we are never going to sell this and pocket money from it. I've never heard that statement from them. And even if I have, you ever heard of an exit scam where you just take a bunch of money and sell it and then run off to a country that doesn't extradite? And plus, okay, they're all saints and they're all going to stick to it. And the future of crypto is more important than their personal money. And none of them are going to sell off a penny of it ever. Okay, cool. What if a hacker breaks into their system and steals it? Okay, it's probably 99% offline cold wallets that are hidden in a bank safe somewhere. Okay, cool. Okay, so somebody finds out, one or two or three people who have access to the funds in the project, and they kidnap them and tase them in the balls until they give them the location of one of the private keys. Or, kidnap their family or, just... I don't want this video to get demonetized or taken down, but you get the idea. The fact that those funds exist in the network somewhere is too much of a liability. They got too greedy and they pre-mined too damn many of them. That simple. If that is, you don't even need to watch the rest of the video. But if you want to hear 9 more ways they up, just for entertainment value. You should already be convinced that you shouldn't touch Chia, obviously. The people behind it are greedy, lying, scamming assholes, in my opinion. But, let's continue to explain why they don't know what the they're doing. Okay, so they started the mainnet, and they started letting people mine on it. Okay, cool, but you couldn't send any crypto from wallet to wallet yet. Pretty clever, because then the only way to get Chia is to start actively mining it. Or farming it, whatever, who cares? Okay, clever. You build up enough supporters, and then when you think it's appropriate, a safe size, then you roll out sending. And then after they roll out sending wallet to wallet, they were going to roll out, the lending of all this, funds to the major exchanges. And then, okay, now we can open it up for US dollar transactions. About 4 or 5 days before they even opened up sending, just when they announced that they were going to open up sending at a certain date, 1 or 2 exchanges, I think both in China, they just said, we'll open up trading. We'll just call them IOUs. We're basically selling futures, Chia futures. I don't think that's the right term. I think they mean something different in stocks, but basically they called them IOU tokens. So they're we're selling you Chia for US dollars. You can do buy, sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, all you want. Set the price, goes up, goes down, cool. With the exception of you can't withdraw the Chia yet that you bought because it doesn't exist. It's an IOU. We will have the Chia in the near future when sending turns on, but in the meantime, we're just going to sell virtual Chia. Total blindside. The group didn't even think anybody would do that. Really? They also had multiple experts confirm that the launch price would be $20. This place launched it at $1,000, and it hit 1,900 within a day. Then everybody who doesn't want to use this sketchy, no-name, not trustworthy, potentially, exchange, because they want to use a respectable exchange that's been around for 10 years, they just watched the price drop and drop and drop by like $100 a day until it hit like $700. What's the first thing you want to do if you've been mining Chia and buying hardware to do so, spending, $1,000 on hardware plus electricity plus your time? You want to get your money out of it in case it crashes. But you don't want to risk, your bank account information and all of your Chia with some no-name place that decided to sell, virtual Chia IOUs. Well, I guess you could just sit there and watch the world burn then, and you're just So 3 weeks later, have we rolled out exchanges yet? No. Have they even moved up the timeline? We don't know. They won't tell us anything. They won't even tell us who the exchanges are going to be. Why haven't they told us which exchanges are going to have it so that we can pre-register and do all of our identification, verification, BSA crap? They also won't tell us what the reason for that is. So I'm just registered on 4 major exchanges. Hopefully one of them will carry Chia. I don't know. I'm probably not going to touch it at this point. So what else did they do? Let's see. They had a user editable random anybody can edit it wiki. I think there was a little bit more validation than that, but whatever. A community contributed wiki page that explains all the shit about Chia, and that included a link to the download page, which somebody just edited to contain a link to a malicious version of the installer that had a bunch of malware in it. I guess I didn't think anybody would ever do that, because every single person on the entire internet is a saint and would never try to load malware on your computer to steal crypto. Are you people new to the internet? Like, holy shit. They just let somebody waltz right in. It wasn't quite this simple. This is an oversimplification, but just somebody come in who had permission to edit the page and just, oh no, I'm going to replace the download link with a completely different server. And it's rigged with malware. So thousands of people had who the knows what stolen off their computer. I don't know, crypto, private keys, bitcoins, addresses, passwords, ransomware, who knows? All because they let somebody randomly just edit in free willy-nilly a link to a malicious version of the installer. Wow. Then the entire blockchain and everything, all mining and everything, screeched to a halt because somebody either purposely or accidentally put in a negative number for a send. They decided, I'm Billy and I want to send Sally -1 Chia. And that was put into a block because these intro to programming failure morons decided not to sanitize the input, and they just thought, well, nobody would ever type a negative number in there. And then the whole network crashes. Are you f***ing kidding me? They had to roll out a patch to not let people put in negative numbers. The earliest negative number attack that I heard of was in a game that came out in 1998. So this ain't no SQL injections. This is your field takes numbers and you didn't think maybe they should be positive. Wow, you get an F on that assignment, little Timmy trying to get his programming degree. And remember, these are professionals. These are the elite. These are the best programmers in the world when it comes to crypto. But their only weakness is negative numbers. So guys, they just announced with, once again, shockingly little warning that by approximately the end of the week and for sure the end of the month, they're going to roll out the ability to have pool mining, which is good because right now with my, 20 to 30 terabytes I have allocated to it, I have several hundred plots. I think my daily solve chance is well below 1 in 100. I believe between all of them, it's 1 in 3.5 months. So I shouldn't get a block reward, period, for 3.5 months on average, which, within variance could be 7 months. I mean, it could be tomorrow, could be 3 years, could be never. And I've got 3 computers and 10 hard drives allocated to this. I'm not exactly a small miner, but the network is currently outrunning the speed that I can plot plots at. Which means unless I double the number of plotters, I won't even keep up with the network and I can never improve my odds better than 1 in every 3.5 months per 24 hours. Or I guess 3.5 months per block solve, whatever, who gives a shit? Basically, I have a 99% chance of never getting paid for any of this shit. There's the summary. So we need pool mining and we needed it about a month ago, but they didn't make it a priority. They kept saying this is not a priority. That feature is not a priority. Okay, so we'll just let the Chinese millionaires all take over it. Hopefully they don't 51% the network. I mean, they have the power to do it. This whole crypto is supposed to be decentralized. Well, now it's pretty centralized because all the small fries gave up because you didn't roll out pooling because you're idiots. And they can't give me this, we didn't think it would grow that fast. Did you listen to your own media outlets and how hyped this was? If you didn't think it would be approaching 10 exabytes by the end of May, then you are idiots and don't know how many hard drives exist in the world and how much money and space and electricity Chinese crypto miners have. Oh, and by the way, a pool already opened up. But here's the catch. There's a Chinese pool. They're currently responsible for about 33% of all crypto or Chia mining, which means that they're within a couple percent of doing a 51% attack and, of course, then logically stealing all of the 35 million coins that exist in their cold wallet without having to access the wallet. That's how a 51% attack works. You just take all of those coins and say, we own them now. Boom, and then roll out a block that says that, without having to break into Fort Knox or torture anyone or none of that. So there are currently, like as last I heard, 2 pools up and running. But how did they do that without pooling rolling out? Well, I guess another oversight. They didn't think people would do this. All you have to do is like hand over your private keys to the pool. And yes, of course that would work. How did they think nobody would do that? So not only are they like the only one ballsy enough to do it and everybody jumped on them because it's the most consistent, all the other ones are like, paling in comparison on size, but now they could run off with all of our money because they basically have, I think, what equates to like our private wallet keys. So some random popped up out of nowhere Chinese pool that says, hey, we're not going to wait for pooling. You want pooling now? Join us. We every day we solve 1/3 of the 4,000 Chia that go out. So you will get paid hyper consistently. All you have to do is trust us with all your money and all your private keys. Do I need to explain why that's 2 really big bad ideas? And the Chia group's just like, guys, you shouldn't do that because that's not safe. Okay, then why didn't you build in pooling from the get-go? And after seeing that there was like a bootleg, duct taped together kind of working hand over your keys pool up and running, why didn't you make it, quote, a priority to roll out no trust pooling, which is where you just use public keys to farm for them? They've said up until like a couple days ago, it's not a priority. Well, it f***ing is. You're about to get 51% attacked by a bootleg Chinese pool, and if that doesn't happen, they could just run off with everybody's money. And making competing pools to prevent them from doing that, while every day individuals are giving up on Chia forever because they're never going to make money on it, it's still not a priority. Really. But this is coming from the same people that didn't think that people would open exchanges early and didn't think that somebody might try to spread malware that steals your shit. The Chia group is the stupidest, most incompetent group of dumbass programmer wannabes that I've ever seen in my life. Do not touch Chia. Do not invest in it. These people are like days away, it seems, from just burning the whole thing to the ground with some giant up, because it's been like one up per week so far. And by the way, this entire thing, all of Chia, it's designed to be like a spiraling downward disaster. And they knew this. This is why they should have put in pooling from the get-go. And this is the last thing I want to mention. Okay, so solo mining was the only way to do it because pool mining was not implemented, right? Let's just pretend the bootleg pool was never a thing. So, the network starts getting bigger, the net space, as they call it. I just call it network difficulty, along with the rest of the crypto community that's been calling it that for 10 years. And it goes from like 1 hour on average to get a reward to like 1 day. I'm like, okay, daily, whatever. Oh, now it's 3 days. Now it's 1 week. You know what? I'm going to get paid more often than 1 week. Okay. My plotting and my hard drives and everything, I'm not keeping up here. The network's growing. I gotta plot more. If I want to get paid consistently and I don't want to wait like a week or maybe with variance 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, who knows, to get paid, I better plot more. And then because there's no pools, everybody thinks and does that. Remember, they got the sunk cost in the time and the hardware, so their only option is to go forward or give up and take the loss. So people go forward and they buy more plotters and they buy more hard drives. And everybody does that because it is their only option. Wait a minute, what's causing the problem in the first place? Oh yeah, it's the network's expanding too quickly, people are plotting too many plots, and people are using too many hard drives. So to solve the problem, we're going to pressure everybody into plotting more faster than they are comfortable with, and then the network grows even faster. What about that was supposed to work, Chia Project? I'm curious. How was that supposed to turn out? You should have had day 1 pool farming. To not just see the basic math and basic motivation and the growth charts of Bitcoins and the exponential difficulty raises of Ethereum. Have you ever followed crypto before? Have you ever designed any software for crypto? Have you ever seen a chart before? Have you ever read crypto news over the last 10 years? You haven't heard of malware, apparently. You haven't heard of bad actors or malicious attacks. You haven't heard of negative numbers. You think they're just a myth, apparently. You're obviously pretty naive idiots, but you really didn't see this one coming. That solo mining would spiral into a time-wasting, money-wasting disaster. Really? And then when it already, you're like, holy shit, we're like 4 exabytes. Holy shit, we really should roll out pooling. Oh, look, there's a bootleg pool already out there and they're at 30% of the network. Oh shit, we really should roll out pooling. Except what you said publicly was, nah, pooling isn't a priority. Even when it's right in front of your fucking faces, you still don't realize how badly you fucked up. With the whole community of crypto experts screaming at you that you massively screwed up this rollout, you still just say, no, everybody but me is wrong. Just in closing, Chia people, fuck you. So that's it. Don't invest in it, don't mine it, don't touch it. And for God's sake, if anybody involved in designing this shit wants to work for your crypto project in the future, don't even consider it. These people are astronomically clueless. You'd be better off just trying to train a monkey to type your code. Just sit a chimpanzee down at your computer and just see what he types. It'll probably be more stable than the rollout of this absolute disaster. This is the worst crypto rollout I've ever seen in my entire life. So thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to give this cheery, happy video a big like, and I'll see you guys next time.